Canada-U.S. trade war heats up.
You're a loser.
How else to respond as Donald Trump threatens punishing new tariffs?
The Prime Minister's right to be patient, and eventually, hopefully, we'll get to some kind of a reasonable agreement.
Plus, how are everyday Canadians feeling?
I'm a conservative, but he's ridiculous.
Is it time to double down on efforts to buy and support all things homegrown? And traffic calming improvements to keep kids safe.
People will look ahead of them and see that the road is narrower and will automatically start to slow down.
More than 4 dozen schools get upgrades before students return to class.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. We begin with breaking news tonight. Sources tell CTV that Canada will announce retaliatory tariffs against the U.S. tomorrow. It's part of the escalation in the trade war with our neighbors. Donald Trump is promising to hit Canada hard starting January 1st with punishing 50% tariffs on cars, trucks, auto parts and steel after talks collapsed on Friday. Here's CTV senior political correspondent Michael Couture.
At the White House, President Donald Trump said nothing about the collapsed trade negotiations, instead doing his talking on social media. Repeating a claim that the U.S. doesn't need Canada, Trump also threatened to increase tariffs on the auto and steel sectors to 50% starting January 1st.
There is a mutually beneficial deal possible here.
While trying to remain hopeful, Prime Minister Mark Carney pushed back on any suggestion that Canada can't survive without the Americans.
An attitude at the negotiation table that Canada is a subsidiary of the United States. The Canadian industry is going to be disadvantaged relative to American industry. That's not something we're going to accept.
While Carney chose his words carefully, Ontario Premier Doug Ford went after Trump on radio.
Well, he can kiss my ass as far as I'm concerned. We're going to go at him full steam.
That comment may have teed off Trump, who responded online with another post, calling Carney governor and Ford a flunky for the Prime Minister.
You know, your own people, President Trump, don't even like you. And they're going to speak loud and clear when it comes to the midterms. And if I was allowed to, I'd be down there door knocking.
Ford also floated the idea of export taxes on products the U.S. needs, like energy, potash, and critical minerals. It's something premiers and the Prime Minister have been hesitant to consider, but in French, Carney said all options are on the table. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is calling for the text of the failed deal to be made public.
Canadians need to know what it is that we are rejecting. My view is that we need to fight for tariff-free trade.
The Prime Minister has threatened dollar-for-dollar counter tariffs on the U.S. starting the day after Labor Day. Details of what Canada will target are expected Tuesday morning. We're also anticipating to hear about government relief measures for workers and businesses affected by American tariffs. Michael Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Now, this escalating trade war will impact each province a little differently. The impact is not as severe in Alberta, as much of our exports are exempted from Donald Trump's tariffs. Tyson Fedor explains.
BC, Ontario, and Quebec will soon feel the pinch of 50% tariffs on goods from those provinces. Economist Trevor Toome crunched the numbers, and he says that U.S. tariffs will only impact less than 1% of Alberta's exported goods if this trade war continues.
Only about, I estimate, 0.5% of Alberta exports are affected by these tariffs. Far less than what we see in Ontario or British Columbia or Quebec. But Alberta is home to many suppliers to exporters located elsewhere in the country.
With Alberta feeling very minimal impact, Premier Danielle Smith is calling for calm through diplomacy rather than retaliatory measures.
We have not, called names on the president at podiums to be able to get, cheers and laughter.
Smith supports Canada withdrawing from trade talks last week, but some political watchers believe she is looking to appease all sides in the trade fight.
So Danielle Smith, as a politician, as we've seen historically, is trying to appeal to those who are less affected by the tariffs and worried about what retaliation might mean for other industries, and those who are being affected by the tariffs and are looking for some kind of relief.
Former Premier Jason Kenney wants Canada to match dollar-for-dollar tariffs, which remains on the table, along with more measured approaches.
We're dealing with a counterparty in President Trump's administration that is erratic, impulsive, unpredictable.
Kenny believes Alberta and Saskatchewan need to rethink a U.S. booze ban in spite of rising rhetoric from the U.S. administration.
Shifting from, bourbon to Alberta rye or U.S. To BC wines, and strengthens the Canadian economy at zero cost to us.
With tariffs on dairy, booze, and building materials, Alberta's oil and gas remains exempt from any hard-hitting measures from President Trump.
The reason that oil and gas is not being tariffed is because the American economy wants oil prices, gas prices at the pump to be lower than higher.
And with further U.S. tariffs starting in the new year, Ottawa is announcing its own retaliatory tariffs on Tuesday.
We're in a trade war. This is an act of aggression from the United States. And so, look, I think there can be, increasing aggressive actions.
And Tyson joins us now. Tyson, Premier Smith and Ford discussed possibly cutting off or adding a tariff to energy exports.
And Tara, was a phone call requested by Premier Doug Ford late this afternoon. But at this point, Premier Smith saying it's just not a viable option and something she will not consider. She says cutting off Alberta energy to the U.S. would be harmful to the Canadian economy. And at this stage, she says that she sympathizes with Ontario as the majority of these tariffs are, of course, impacting sectors there. But at this time, she says Canada should be focused on breaking down interprovincial trade barriers and getting more access to other energy markets. Tara?
Okay, Tyson, thank you. Now, while businesses brace for impact, travelers may be exploring some fresh options. Tyler Barrow joins us from the airport. So, Tyler, how are jet setters handling all this trade talk?
Tara, Canadian travelers we spoke with are not impressed with what transpired between the two countries. They place blame on the Trump administration, and many had already chosen to avoid the U.S. as a travel destination. And Americans aren't happy either in how their government has handled trade negotiations. San Diego resident Lauren Cajal is heading home with memories and a feeling of frustration towards her government over its tariff battles with Canada.
It's embarrassing to me because I feel like that's not what most Americans stand for, and we want to be friendly neighbors.
Other Americans visiting Calgary shared similar feelings.
Don't understand what we're doing, and we're friends.
I feel terrible about jobs that could be lost up here. I feel terrible about higher prices in the United States. So I think it's all a terrible mistake.
And for Canadians planning to travel, one expert says hard feelings could lead to travelers avoiding the States.
Clients aren't booking right away. They really are taking time to make that decision.
While some are already avoiding.
Don't have any plans in the near future to go anywhere near the States.
Decided to never travel to the U.S. Under this administration.
Recent data shows Canadians were softening in their effort to avoid America, but this new conflict could renew the sentiment to avoid all things American. One retail expert points to how close Canadians were paying attention to the latest rounds of talks, ending in the 11th hour with Trump's administration pushing for too much.
When consumers hear these kinds of narratives, it's going to really engage them back into that strong feeling that they need to buy as many Canadian goods as possible.
Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
We have breaking news in the Northeast tonight. A man suffered serious injuries after a hit and run this afternoon. The pedestrian was struck at 3:30 at the intersection of 52nd Street and 44th Ave Northeast. That's in Temple. Police closed the intersection as part of their investigation. So far, there is no description of the vehicle they are looking for. An Airdrie man has pleaded guilty to second-degree murder in the death of a 29-year-old woman. Stephen Aaron Zwick was initially charged with first-degree murder in the death of Chelsea Davidinas in 2024. Davidinas' body was found northeast of Carsland in April of that year. Police alleged 2 months earlier Davidinas was lured by two men she knew to a home on Rundlehorn Drive northeast. Investigators believe she was killed inside the home. The other suspect, Paul Joseph Rushton of Calgary, is sentenced to go on trial in January. Two people are facing nearly 200 charges in a fraud case that targeted several Costco locations around Calgary. Police say over the course of about 3 months, a woman used altered or fraudulent barcodes from lower-priced items to buy higher-priced electronics like TVs and computers. They estimate she did this on more than $30,000 worth of items, and that a man was also involved in the transactions. Police found a stolen 65-inch TV along with multiple instruments for forgery and fraud after executing a search warrant in the Northeast, along with about $6,000 of drugs. 41-year-old Christy Konstantinov is facing 70 charges in the case, while 39-year-old Aaron Head is facing 119 charges. A vehicle nicked a plus 15 on 5th Avenue Southwest today. No one was hurt, and the damage to the walkway is minor. One lane of traffic was closed for a short amount of time. It's a pretty busy time of year as parents are getting their kids ready for another school year. And amidst the rush, the City of Calgary is sending a reminder about making the commute to school safer. Here's Moses Woldu.
It's that time of year as parents get their children ready for back to school.
We print off the list of what we need, and then we make sure that we go through and we see what we've got from last year, and then we just come through and try to find it for the best deal wherever we can get it.
While Amanda Hibbs and many parents like her are crossing off school items off their child's checklist, the city is also crossing off important items on their list at several school zones to make sure kids get to and from school safe.
The goal is not simply to add infrastructure. The goal is to use right safety treatment at the right location.
It's part of a strategy by the city adding traffic calming measures at 50 schools across the city, from adding speed cushions to extending curbs.
These make a huge difference. People will look ahead of them and see that the road is narrower and will automatically start to slow down.
We have eyes on the roads. We get those cues from the schools and school boards and general public. When they complain, we review that and then come up with a proper solution.
In addition to those measures, rectangular rapid flash beacons or RFBs that can be seen at eye height for drivers are also being implemented. The city says their studies show these tools can make a difference.
Before the installation of those RFBs, the yielding compliance level to the pedestrians by drivers was about 70 to 75%. But when we install them, the compliance level has gone up from 95 to 100%.
Calgary police are reminding motorists and pedestrians to obey the rules around school zones, as there will be a police presence throughout the month of September.
We go out not to do enforcement, to give out tickets. We go out for education only, initially, because we understand that everybody's going to be nervous. Everybody's worried about getting their kids to school.
These safety measures are a relief for Hibbs, whose kids walk to school.
I feel like it's 100% safer for them to be going across by themselves.
And Moses joins us now. Moses, these safety reminders also really need to go out to pedestrians.
That's true. Now, safety is a shared responsibility. That's what the city says. Motorists have to respect the rules like speed limits, and those pedestrians will have to understand to use the crosswalks, as well as parents who are looking to drop off their kids to use the proper drop-off locations. Tara.
Okay, Moses, thank you.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
An area near Red Deer was hit by a fierce hailstorm yesterday.
Holy.
The storm hit the hamlet of Springbrook, which is near Penhold. Photos show large balls of ice and visible damage to the exteriors of homes and buildings. Red Deer County officials are now assessing buildings and facilities following the storm. Residents say the damage is extensive.
We took a drive around town. It's looking like a lot of the siding looks like Swiss cheese. I was surprised. I just thought it was going to be a little sprinkle, or I wasn't expecting it to be like plant shearing, birdhouse damaging, rip off your siding kind of hailstorm.
Lavelle says while her home and some others made it through okay, some homes have significant exterior damage. Starting tomorrow, people can bring organic debris like fallen trees and branches to the Hornhill Waste Transfer Station to be disposed of for free. Danielle joins us now. That is miserable when that happens, that much damage.
That sound of hail is always a bit worrisome, obviously, because you never know what it's going to damage. We don't have to worry about any of that right now because we have had the most pleasant day in the city. In fact, it's a Goldilocks day. Temperatures right where they should be for this time of year, no wind, bright sky, and really good air quality. So we've done okay today. 23 was our high. We're now at 22 as temperatures start to slowly cool for the evening. Tomorrow morning, lots of sunshine and very similar to what we had today. It's a stable day. It's a bright day. Air quality will still be really good tomorrow as well. We'll just be a little hotter tomorrow. So 13 degrees at 8 a.m., getting up to a high of 25 in the afternoon, but it will feel closer to 27 with that humidity, Tara.
Thanks, Danielle. Good news if you have any flight plans left this summer. If you're trying to squeeze in one more trip, some assurances from WestJet. Flight attendants want to accept their new deal. And what do you think U.S. negotiators are telling Americans about the failed trade talks? We'll find out next. WestJet flight attendants have voted overwhelmingly to ratify a new contract with the airline. Jordan Canagan joins us now. And Jordan, the vote comes weeks after a one-day strike.
The WestJet flight attendant strike may have been short-lived, but it had a major impact on travelers. Now, workers have voted to accept the agreement that was made earlier on this month. The vote ending today with 90% of flight attendants voting to ratify the deal. The new contract includes a more than 18% pay hike over 3 years and compensation for work on the ground that was previously not covered. The union says the deal includes meaningful gains for WestJet flight attendants. Nearly 4,400 cabin crew members walked off the job in early August, leading to more than 900 flight cancellations. Now, this agreement coming a year after Air Canada flight attendants went on strike and got a new deal as well. The WestJet deal will run through to the end of 2028. Tara?
Okay, Jordan, thank you. The U.S. is blaming Canada big time for the collapse of trade talks, saying Ottawa wanted more than the Americans could give. U.S. politicians are now pushing their agenda to the American public at a crucial political time, just ahead of the U.S. midterms. CTV's Abigail Beeman reports from Washington.
They were offered quite a good deal. They chose to reject it.
They came in with a bunch of unreasonable last-minute demands. I frankly thought we had a deal.
Simply, they wanted more.
One by one, members of the Trump administration blame Canada for leaving a so-called good deal on the table, suggesting the Prime Minister walked away for his own political gain.
It certainly doesn't make economic sense, but perhaps for political reasons. They have some by-elections coming up. I don't know, but they came in and they wanted more, and we weren't prepared to do that.
A former senior White House trade advisor acknowledges there are completely different narratives on each side of the border, with the U.S. not calling this a trade war, but a stalemate.
And at the very last moment, Prime Minister Carney made the political call to pull out. I think there's a lot of suspicion that it had very little to do with the substance of what was actually being negotiated and a lot to do with domestic politics back at home.
While the vice president treads on a familiar offensive trope.
Canada is a state. Sorry, Freudian slip. That was actually an accident. Canada is a country that has underinvested in its military that quite literally would get invaded by a foreign country were it not for the umbrella of protection provided by the United States of America.
But other political watchers point out it's the Republicans who stand to suffer politically as the clock draws out.
These policies are not helping the American economy. And I think as school returns and we get back into September, the dialogue related to the midterm elections will put a lot of pressure on the cost of living challenges the Republicans are bringing on Americans.
A number of trade experts believe talks could resume later this fall after a cooling off. The vice president himself categorized negotiations as still ongoing. Again, very different messaging from the Canadian side. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Washington.
In British Columbia, 11,000 lightning strikes were recorded across the province over the weekend, sparking new fires. About 60 new fires erupted in a 24-hour stretch. But the storm also brought significant rain, helping to moderate the fire behavior. 75% of the new fires are now held under control or out. There are more than 180 wildfires burning in BC. In Nevada, crews are trying to stop a fast-moving wildfire from spreading to homes in Reno. 90,000 residents have fled after the out-of-control blaze mushroomed over the weekend. Some homes have already burned, and there is concern that shifting winds could push the flames into densely packed neighborhoods. 6 people have been injured since the 60-square-kilometer blaze began Saturday. There have been more than 50,000 wildfires in the U.S. so far.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
Let's bring Danielle back in as we look ahead to our own weather now. We have a very nice week ahead.
Yeah, we are. I guess you can't really get more ideal than what we had today. Tomorrow will be pretty similar, just a little bit hotter. In fact, temperatures are going to be climbing each day as we go through this week. So be prepared for some heat to arrive. I mean, it is still summer, let's be honest. All right, so today's high was 23 in the city. We're now down to 22 for the day. The winds have been calm in Calgary, but they've been a little gustier in the southeast corner. We'll talk more about that in just a second. 23 is the temperature in Banff at the moment, 25 in Medicine Hat, and 24 in Lethbridge. So very reasonable temperatures and close to normal for this time of year. All right, so for gusts, we maxed out around 63 kilometers per hour in the Medicine Hat area, 52 in Brooks, in the 30s for Lethbridge, and in the 40s for Calgary. And it's all because of a system that we dealt with in many parts of southern Alberta, central Alberta yesterday, and now has pushed off into Saskatchewan. But we're still getting this flow of air from the north and northwest, and that's been creating some gustier conditions closer to the Saskatchewan border. This will be further off to the east tomorrow, so winds will ease in all communities for tomorrow. So tomorrow, we are looking at calm winds, sunshine, still really good air quality because of these winds that will start to push in from the southeast, and that will push the smoke off to the west for us. So we're looking at really good conditions for tomorrow. It will be a little hotter, and we will have some humidity built in. As we talk about Wednesday will start stable, and in Calgary it should remain pretty stable. We'll just see some clouds increasing later in the day around the supper hours. But in the southwest corner, there is a small chance of some showers, even some weak thunderstorms. And then as we head to the evening hours, that may push into Lethbridge and down to Milk River. Again, this isn't looking like a really intense day with intense storms, but there is the risk of thunderstorms in the far south, especially in the southwest corner. That's on Wednesday. All right, when we talk about air quality, we're going to have, because we have the fires in BC, Washington State, we're going to have the winds push in from the southwest. We're already starting to get that. And that's going to really clear up the air for us. So for the next 2 days, we're still looking at really good air quality, low on the air quality health index, which is absolutely fantastic. 25 degrees is our daytime high in the city tomorrow, but with the humidity, it will feel closer to 27. Lots of sunshine expected for tomorrow, and mainly sunny for Wednesday and Thursday as well. You can also see temperatures really climbing as we go here. 29 is our high for Wednesday, and we'll likely crack that 30-degree mark on Thursday. When we look at Friday, though, we'll start to notice the clouds increasing, and we'll drop down to more reasonable temperatures. So 24 degrees on Friday, and then to kick off the weekend, 19. And by Saturday, Friday night, even on Saturday, we do have the risk of thunderstorms. That's your Action Furnace 5-day forecast.
There is nothing sweet about the collapse in trade talks, and Alberta's honey producers are particularly concerned why the timing couldn't be worse for that industry. And a castle on the move, literally by hand. We'll tell you about the volunteers really putting their back into it. That's still to come. As the U.S. president threatens even more tariffs and the trade war escalates, some Alberta businesses are bracing for impact. For the time being, Alberta oil and gas is not one of those industries, but beekeepers are feeling the sting as the province that exports the most natural honey. Jeremy Thompson explains.
It's extraction season for Alberta beekeepers, when months of careful planning and pollinating culminate in a honey harvest. For Richard Ozero, the recent collapse of trade talks between Canada and the United States has taken a bit of the buzz out of the room.
These disruptions in the markets is really, it couldn't come at a worse time, because this is when we're starting to barrel up our honey and get it ready for sale.
Alberta is Canada's biggest honey exporter. About $6 million worth a year typically heads across the border. As one of the products now facing a 50% import tariff, fewer American customers are likely to buy Canadian.
The Canadian honey has to go somewhere. If it's backed up back into Canada, now we're facing a glut of honey here, and that's going to suppress prices if we can't find other international buyers or encourage Canadian honey consumption.
The head of the Alberta Beekeepers Commission says some businesses are expecting job losses, even closures, if this level of tariff lasts.
So this isn't just a jobs impact or economic impact, it's a food security impact. So without the bee industry, we can actually see key crops also impacted.
Honey is one of dozens of Canadian goods set to face a 50% bump in American tariffs starting August 29th.
I think the most important thing for an Alberta audience is that it's not oil and gas. And that's pretty much the sum total of the exercise. It's not food, beef, cattle. Those things continue to remain free from tariffs.
About $1.5 billion of Alberta exports will be affected, which economist Moshe Lander says is a relatively small piece of the economic pie.
The problem is that the whole point of this exercise is to try and engineer a way back to free trade, not to engineer away from it.
It's another unpredictable element for an industry that's already facing lower yields because of recent wet weather.
It's hard to plan for something that you don't know when it's going to end, if this is a temporary measure or if this is years and years of fighting against our biggest partner and friend and ally.
Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
The Prime Minister was in Quebec today to announce $11.3 billion in federal funding for 6 new icebreakers. The vessels will be deployed to Atlantic Canada as well as the St. Lawrence in the winter and the Arctic during the summer months. They'll replace the Coast Guard's aging heavy and medium icebreakers. The PM says the project will involve more than 1,500 suppliers from across the country. All of the vessels will be built in Quebec. The federal government has announced a new alliance to address workforce challenges in a key economic sector. Jobs Minister Patty Hajdu was in Calgary to announce the Transportation and Supply Chain Alliance. The alliance will be focused on addressing persistent labor shortages in the industry. It also aims to strengthen skill development, attract new talent, and adapt to new technology. The minister says it will help address hiring challenges.
We've often heard from employers that they can't find the talent they need with the skills that they need. And conversely, we've heard from new graduates or people who choose to pursue training in a specific sector that they do all that training and then they find it really hard to find a job in the sector that they've chosen.
The transportation and warehousing sector contributed just under $100 billion to Canada's GDP in 2024 and contains more than 1 million jobs. The announcement follows other alliances formed in mining and advanced manufacturing. Collecting cards has been a popular activity for generations. Now a new machine developed here in Calgary helps sort out the most sought-after cards in seconds. Stay with us for that. A Calgary business with pretty humble origins recently celebrated a significant milestone. TCG Machines, the company that makes a trading card sorting machine, sorted its 1 billionth card. Tommy Osborne reports on the homegrown business that has now gone international.
1 billion trading cards have been scanned through the FizzBatch 9000, a machine built right here in Calgary by TCG Machines.
We sort on average at the moment somewhere between 2 to 2.5 million cards per day, fleet-wide.
1 billion cards. That's 2,000 tons of cardboard. If you stacked it all into a giant tower, it would go 321 kilometers high, reaching well into outer space.
We're still just scratching the surface. It's a huge industry. I think market cap for it this year should be around 20 billion.
Century Box Cards says the machine saves 50 to 100 hours a week, as it has hundreds of thousands of unsorted cards. It's so efficient, it changed the store's internal operations.
We've kind of reworked our business model of the downstairs behind the scenes operations around the machine to be as efficient as possible.
The machine can sort to very specific requirements, like card cost, different art styles, in-game mechanics, and more.
The possibilities are seemingly endless, it feels, and we are so much more efficient in being able to sort cards, as well as since it can scan and take a database of our cards, we can then just upload them immediately onto our website, and it's amazing.
TCG Machines started when a hobbyist got tired of sorting manually, so he engineered the solution. From selling out of the back of a van to now serving around the world, TCG Machines is only growing in popularity as demand for sorting heats up.
We're at about 400 or so machines right now. We're worldwide, so we're in about 20 countries at the moment. We just opened up Australia, Japan.
Webster feels they're just getting started, and more upgrades are in the works.
Language detection is not something the machine does right now, but it is the #1 thing we're working on. So while it doesn't do it today, it probably will within a few months.
Tommy Osborne, CTV News, Calgary.
All right, let's see what's trending tonight. The Batman theme song is pretty iconic. You've got two little boys, I'm sure you know it. It's pretty recognizable no matter how it's played. This is an Irish band. They're called Imar. They came up with this rendition when they stumbled upon this Gotham road sign in England. This is actually a real village. It's close to Nottingham. Bruce Wayne technically apparently had Irish roots, so this works.
Well, there you go.
This
and
works.
What a creative way to celebrate.
Absolutely.
Heading to Gotham.
You can make anything sound good with a little Irish music.
Pretty cool.
An historic Japanese castle is coming to the end of an historic journey, being moved inch by inch to an updated foundation. So just watch this. Over a decade ago, Hirosaki Castle was carefully lifted and slowly moved so work could be done on the stone wall that supports it. Now the castle has to be moved back as carefully and as surely as before. So they're just using good old-fashioned muscle. 1,000 people were selected by lottery to pull the castle like you were in a giant tug-of-war. They did end up moving it about 3 feet by hand, and people are signing up to do this. So more lucky people are going to be chosen to help move this castle. It weighs 400 tons.
Wow, I find it fascinating, the ability to move a whole structure.
Wow.
Put it back.
1,000 people, just move it back. A summer relationship turned into a much bigger commitment than a college grad was expecting.
I know you can jump. You did it last night. There you go.
Okay, so Teddy the peacock was abandoned while still in the egg and then was later hatched in an incubator. It took a shine to this girl, Morgan Steppen. She was just visiting this North Dakota farm for the summer. She soon found herself the unofficial mother when this baby peacock imprinted on her and now rarely leaves her side.
Oh my gosh.
Everywhere she goes, it goes. There is another egg that's set to hatch, so they're hoping that Teddy will find a new play pal and then Morgan can get out of this parent trap. She's like, I gotta go, I gotta leave, I don't live here, I have to leave.
Oh, look how cute that is.
That is very cute.
Definitely imprinted right there.
Teddy the peacock. It's becoming clear that the trade war will cost Canadian jobs. In our business report, we'll take a closer look at which sectors and which provinces are most at risk.
Here's your Skywatch weather camera, and what a stunning, ideal day. So in the city, for example, the winds were calm, the sun was out, the temperature not too hot, not too cold, right where we should be, and the air quality was fantastic. Okay, 22 is our temperature right now, 23 was our daytime high, and 21 is what's normal for this time of year. We were nowhere near record-breaking heat of 32.2 on this day. Here's a look at temperatures overall in those mid-20s, pretty much in the southeast corner. Calgary at 22 right now, Banff at 23, and Drumheller in the mid-20s too. We did have gusty conditions, especially closer to the Saskatchewan border, and that will be the case closer to the Saskatchewan border for the next couple of hours before that system tracks all the way off to the east. So this needs to move a little further out, and then things will calm down. So tomorrow, everywhere looking at calm winds, which is absolutely fantastic. Okay, when we look at the next 24 hours for Calgary, 13 degrees for tomorrow to kick off the day at 8 a.m. 25 degrees is our daytime high. With the humidity, though, we'll feel closer to 27. So temperatures are going to keep climbing a little bit each day over these next 3 days. So expect some real summer heat to wrap up the summer before the kids head back to school. That's your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace. Fix right or it's free. All right, let's take a little look around here. For Salmon Arm, Kelowna, Kamloops in the low 30s for tomorrow and almost at that 30 mark, Golden and Fernie. Stable, better air quality in the southwest part of BC as well, because we'll keep getting those winds out of the southeast, which is going to push the smoke away. And that's the case for us too in Alberta. 26 is the high for Edmonton and Red Deer and Rocky Mountain House. Again, lots of sunshine overall, stable weather through all of Alberta. 25 for Calgary. 28 for Drumheller tomorrow, and heading further to the south, also looking at highs of 28 for Lethbridge and Medicine Hat.
Police are looking for the driver of a vehicle that struck a pedestrian this afternoon. It happened at the intersection of 52nd Street and 44th Ave Northeast. A man suffered serious injuries. There is no description of the vehicle they are looking for. Two people are facing nearly 200 charges in a fraud case that targeted several Calgary Costco locations. Police say they made fraudulent purchases, putting barcodes for lower-priced items on higher-value electronics. And sources tell CTV News Canada will announce retaliatory tariffs tomorrow against the U.S. as part of the escalation in the trade war that began when talks broke off. Mexico's president expects to reach a trade agreement with the United States. Claudia Sheinbaum says today her country is making progress in a new round of negotiations to reduce tariffs, and she is optimistic an agreement can be reached. That echoes similar comments made recently by U.S. President Donald Trump. The new American tariffs imposed this weekend are likely to put jobs on the line. BNN Bloomberg's Marla Fernandez has more.
One estimate put 52,000 positions directly at risk and another 35,000 indirectly at risk. Analysis shows Ontario, Quebec, and BC being the hardest hit provinces, with concentrated job losses in machinery, electronics, plastics, and rubber. But the domino effect means other provinces will also feel this. The Prime Minister has promised to support industries affected by the new 50% markup, but it's not yet clear what that will look like. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 72.72 U.S. West Texas Intermediate down to 85.01 U.S. a barrel. Western Canadian Select is up to 68.23, and the TSX gained 93 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marla Fernandez.
It's a beautiful spectacle seen only in the summer months, the vibrancy of monarch butterflies fluttering in gardens. And this year especially, Canadians have taken note. CTV's Alison Bamford has more on the butterfly boom and what it means for the endangered species.
Tyler Flockhart studies monarch butterflies. He's fascinated by the resilience of something so fragile.
You have an insect that weighs as much as a quarter that can fly all the way from southern Canada all the way to Mexico. And then back in the spring. It's pretty remarkable.
Monarch butterflies are an endangered species in Canada and not common on the prairies. But this year, the ecologist is seeing more than usual in Saskatoon, a sign that we could be in the midst of a butterfly boom.
We know that when monarchs are at fairly good numbers in the summer, they start showing up in places where you are in the western provinces.
Look at that. People across the prairies are taking note, patiently capturing the tiny details of metamorphosis from caterpillar to chrysalis to butterfly. Experts say it's common for insect populations to fluctuate. Favorable weather conditions likely contributed to this year's numbers.
Over the long term, we're still in a state where the populations are considerably lower than what they had been.
Habitat loss, particularly the loss of milkweed plants, seems to be the main driver behind the declining population. Flockhart is now part of a larger group looking into the monarch's exact habitat locations, using these tiny tags to track where the monarchs go and when they go there. Information that he says could help in conservation.
Particularly for the prairie provinces, it gives us information to understand how important are the prairies to the monarch population as a whole.
Some monarchs have already started migrating. Flockhart hopes to begin tagging butterflies as soon as possible so their flights south can be tracked in real time. Alison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
We have some incredible video to show you of an underwater encounter off Vancouver Island. When Vancouver Island dive master Carl Sorensen went looking for giant Pacific octopus in the waters off Parksville last week, he found something else entirely. A blunt-nosed six-gill shark that Sorensen estimates was 10 to 12 feet long. They're not uncommon in BC waters, but they're a deep-water shark, so they're rarely seen.
I turned around, I kind of swung my flashlight out on the sand in the dark water, and she was coming at me with her mouth wide open, like 5 feet away. So I screamed in my regulator and kind of shifted. I couldn't believe what I was seeing at first, but then I remembered I had my camera and I had to hit record.
Sorensen just kept his distance and recorded the shark with a zoom lens. The shark was swimming at a depth of about 100 feet, but they can be found as deep as 8,000 feet. The underwater encounter lasted about 3 minutes. Wow. The Rogers Charity Classic went down to the wire. We'll recap that win that came in extra holes next. If you have a news tip, you can text us anytime at 10400. The Walter Cup has turned up. The trophy disappeared while being transported to Lethbridge last week. This afternoon, the Montreal Victoire posted a photo of the PWHL's top prize with "Found" stamped on it. The post says the trophy got some much-needed rest and is ready to hit the road. There is no word yet on how or where it disappeared or even how it was found. The Rogers Charity Classic at Canyon Meadows Golf Course in Calgary went to a sudden death playoff.
And it's Alker again. Second victory of the season.
New Zealand's Stephen Alker and South Korea's Y.E. Yang were tied at 16 under after yesterday's final round. They went to a playoff hole, and after Yang got into a bunch of trouble in some high grass alongside the green, Alker birdied the hole to win by 2 shots.
Today, Troy and I made some adjustments down the range. I played yesterday, shot 61, and we're hitting balls for like 45 minutes. Just hit drivers. Started finding the path and the flight I wanted. So, you know, that worked out, and I made some putts at the end. And hey, it's so cool to win here. I love Canada. Yeah. This is great.
The Rogers Charity Classic is the PGA Tour Champions' only Canadian event. More than $164 million has been raised over the years for more than 300 children and youth charities across Alberta. Japanese star Mayu Yamashita stole the show at the CPKC Women's Open in Edmonton. The 25-year-old claimed her 4th LPGA Tour victory and 2nd this year with a dominating performance. She finished at 23 under par. Her 4-day score of 257 in Edmonton tied the lowest all-time on the LPGA Tour. 9th Avenue below the Calgary Tower was closed off to traffic yesterday afternoon, but it was full of some amazing cars. 200 exotic supercars were on display. Porsches, Lamborghinis, Ferraris were among those on display. The free event was put on by the Bespoke Exotic Car Club. Donations were collected for the Alberta Children's Hospital Foundation. It was a chance for car lovers to see rare cars up close. This is the first time the event has been held beneath the tower. All right, let's take our final peek at the forecast. We've got a pretty nice evening ahead.
Yeah, it's just fantastic. Take advantage of it because, you know, I hate to say this, but there's not a whole lot of summer left, and then all the kids head back to school.
Don't say it.
I know, but soak it up. The air quality is good, the winds are calm, the sun's still out, and temperatures are great. 25 degrees for tomorrow with the humidity feel closer to 27. So as you can see, we're getting a little hotter each day. So then it gets into more excessive heat by Wednesday and Thursday, closer to that 30-degree mark for a daytime high with lots of sunshine. But air quality should be good for the next few days. So that's some good news there. All right, weather window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. And Heather Woodmere sent this in. She took this near Olds last night. Thank you so much for sharing. Look at the pretty pink sky and the lightning.
Great shot. Thanks for your company tonight. Have a great evening. We'll see you again tomorrow.